then there is nobody in charge. You are now going to look for an identified talent for the new leadership. But if you are going to take a decision which will result in the removal of leadership, how are you going to call them and say, come and help me to remove you? Nobody does that. No president consults with his cabinet about the decision to change members of the cabinet. And so it wasn't practical for you to call the leadership. Are you going to meet the caucus without the leadership you are going to change, or you are going to meet them with the leadership? And who controls that meeting? So in such matters, you take the decision and inform them and justify that decision. And that is what precisely we have done.
Okay, so that's Johnson Asiedu Nkatia comparing himself to the elected president of Ghana who is dealing with his cabinet ministers and also. All right. Now, he said that the people that he needs to do the changes on, he cannot consult them. Last week, Kwesi Pratt had a completely different view. Hear him.
You're appointing leaders for a group of people.
Yeah.
You are not appointing shepherds for sheep.
Yeah.
If you are appointing shepherds to go and look after sheep, you may not have to consult the sheep.
True.
You are appointing leaders for your parliamentarians. I don't think that it is necessary to consult them. My goodness, what is this?
So you had the answer for Johnson Asiedu Nkatia. Kwesi Pratt says that, how do you elect people? The MPs, they are not, excuse me to say, they are not sheep that you are electing a shepherd. They are elected members of parliament. But Johnson Asiedu Nkatia feels that he shouldn't consult them because about them himself. And then he said that the president, can you put the president thing on, please? And then he said that the president's a choice, when the president wants to do a cabinet reshuffle, he doesn't consult the ministers. So this is the point we've been making all the time. Johnson Asiedu Nkatia has completely misunderstood his role as a chairman of the party. You know why? Because he's radical and he doesn't consult. So he's misunderstood his role. He says that he wants to make changes in parliament. He doesn't need to consult them because the changes is about them. So he doesn't need to consult them. And then he likens it to the president of Ghana, any president of Ghana, who selected his ministers, and that when he wants to change ministers, he doesn't tell them. Did Johnson Asiedu Nkatia, as chairman of the party, select them parliamentarians? Is he the one who made them parliamentarians so that when he has a leadership choice, he doesn't have to tell them? Now, we put this here so that you can understand. This is the graphics, the graphical expression of Article 78 in the 1992 Constitution. Those of you who are friends with Asiedu Nkatia, go and tell him that Article 78 explains the matter better, and that his understanding of the relationship between a party chairman and the members of parliament and their leadership, that he is comparing it to, he's not actually comparing, he's putting it side by side with the relationship between a president and the ministers that he selects, so that when the president wants to change the ministers, he need not tell them. So this is a graphical representation of President Akufo-Addo and his ministers. So you know that deliberately we made President Akufo-Addo big and his ministers smaller, because the mandate of the ministers, the 100% of the ministers' mandate, is Akufo-Addo's mandate. That's what it is. So next president, Atta Mills, is here. These are his ministers. The mandate of Atta Mills is what he's sharing with his ministers. He, Atta Mills, is offering his ministers that. And then we put another president here. J. Kufuor is there. This is Article 78. This is the president of Ghana. These are his ministers. He appoints them. They owe the appointment to him. But here's Asiedu Nkatia, because of his ego and because he's radical and he thinks everything he's doing is correct, he has completely misread it, and he sits down comfortably, actually laughing and saying that, well, I mean, if the president wants to change me, does he tell them? So he's changing the leadership of parliament. He doesn't need to tell them. That's wrong. Very, very wrong. Now here it is, Article 78.1. Ministers of state shall be appointed by the president with the prior approval of parliament from among members of parliament or persons qualified to be elected as members of parliament, except that the majority of ministers of state shall be appointed from among members of parliament. This is the 1992 Constitution. This is what makes the president appoint ministers. Johnson Asiedu Nkatia is comparing that to his role as chairman. He's the boss, and he is presenting, he is telling MPs that this will be your leader. You better shut up. That's what he's saying. He's saying that I'm the boss. When the president wants to reshuffle, does he consult the ministers? President doesn't have to consult ministers, because the power relation between president and minister is that the minister is carrying the president's power. The minister works on behalf of the president. All executive action in Ghana taken by ministers shall be expressed to have been taken in the name of the president. That's Article 59. Every executive action taken in Ghana shall be expressed to have been taken in the name of the president. A party chairman cannot compare himself to the role of a president in relation to his members of parliament, comparing to the relation between the president and his ministers. But that's what Asiedu Nketia said, and that's what we told. He's radical. He doesn't talk to anybody. He doesn't consult. He decides one way, he goes that way. All right, let's move on to the next video, because I promised to do this in 15 minutes. In the next video, Asiedu Nketia is seen talking about the question of numbers, that he heard that they said some people signed a petition and the people were so few. This is what he said.
And the reports about 70 MPs signing, a resolution and all that, they are not accurate at all. We heard about 70 MPs, then later we got the number reduced to 40 MPs, and eventually the press conference was attended by 25 MPs. And a lot of them, even at that event, were calling to assure me that they were there to witness what was happening, and not necessarily associating themselves with the move. And as I was leaving Accra, there were a couple of MPs who had called into media houses to dissociate themselves from the move, even though their names were in the list. And so that is that about it. NDC is not fragmented at all.
Johnson Asiedu Nketia is telling us that the MP's so-called letter signature that people are signing is complete hogwash. That's what he says. He's saying that they started from, he's laughing at us, he said it started from 60, then they went to 40, and by the time he was traveling out of Accra to accompany President Mahama, some MPs had gone on radio to say that they were not, they just showed up. Of the 25, they just showed up. They didn't have any role to play, just showed up. He's indicating that the decision he's taking is quite popular. But here's Kwesi Pratt speaking last week, Friday, on Pan-African television.
As of last night, 95 of minority MPs had kicked against this move. How is Atufosin going to function, even if he was a magician, even if he was an economic magician? How is he going to function?
All right, so you heard Kwesi Pratt. You heard him. So Johnson Asiedu Nketia says the thing is not working and all that. And then Kwesi Pratt, Johnson Asiedu Nketia says that people are few. Kwesi Pratt says he has 90. I don't know. I've not spoken to any NDC MP to tell me whether he's part or not. I'm just following what's happening in the media. But this is the situation. And when I finish this, I'll show you why Johnson Asiedu Nketia's leadership style may need some advice. I'll show you. Okay, so let's go to another video where Asiedu Nketia now explains the decision. He said it already, but he's saying it again about getting an economic giant to lead the party. Here it is.
Every Ghanaian knows that going into 2024 elections, the key battlegrounds have already been defined, and they have to do with the economy and the finance of the country. They will have to do with the energy sector, and they will have to do with infrastructure or lack of it. And so if you are going to go into battle, you need your experts in these areas to lead the charge. And so that is what we've done. Arguably, our best person in Parliament as far as the economy and finance is concerned is Dr. Atufosin. He used to be with you here. And so we picked him from here to Parliament, and he has not disgraced you at all. He has shown that actually he was trained in Great Britain, and he's been performing creditably well. And so he was identified as the person to lead the minority in Parliament now, and to lead the charge against MPP as far as the discussion of the economy and making proposals for better economic management are concerned. So we needed him at the forefront. And then we chose Ama Kofi-Boa, who was also trained in the US and has been our former Minister for Energy. And so very well versed in matters concerning the energy sector. And so he's going to be he is now your deputy minority leader. And then another UK trained young man, Kwame Agboja, who was also picked from here. He has also done so well in Parliament, and he is now your new chief whip, minority chief whip.
Okay, so we heard that. He says that the decision was taken because of the issues about the economy. The other day, Randy Abbey was speaking on Good Morning Ghana. He said something about elections and the economy. Have a look.
And because the next election is going to be fought on the economy, you need an economist.
Which election has not been fought on the economy?
Randy, don't kill me.
No, which election has not been fought on the economy? At least in the Fourth Republic.
Bamasa.
All right, I have very little to say about that. Let's move on. Johnson Asiedu Nketia also then talked about something very, well, Kwesi Pratt described the letter as strange. I'll show you that. But I'm describing what he says as very, very strange. He says that there's no cooperation between the minority leadership in Parliament of Idrisu Haruna and Muntaka and the rest, Aveji and co. There's no cooperation between them and the Speaker. It's strange because we are surprised that Idrisu Haruna, Muntaka, those who created Alban Bagbin as Speaker. Mr. Bagbin was not thinking of being Speaker. It was Idrisu Haruna and Muntaka who decided that, look, we have an opportunity. These people may not vote for their man because of all the things we know. Let's put Bagbin in. And that's how Mr. Bagbin came in and he won. But we are being told by the party chairman right now that there's a relationship between Idrisu Haruna, Muntaka, and the leadership of the minority and the Speaker. It's not a good relationship. It has to have been told to him by either the minority leadership or the Speaker. The minority leadership is not talking to them because he said he didn't tell them to, he's not going to ask them to help him to remove them. So he didn't talk to them. He didn't consult them. That's quite clear. He's told us already. And he also didn't consult the parliament's people because when the president is changing cabinet, he doesn't tell them. All right. Now, so if it's not them, then it's the Speaker who told him. Did Mr. Bagbin tell Johnson Asiedu Nketia that the relationship between him and the minority leadership, his own NDC people, is bad? Here's Asiedu Nketia speaking.
My priorities in Parliament is to see our parliamentary caucus working together and also cooperating with the Speaker of Parliament. Why did we struggle to get an NDC person elected as a Speaker of Parliament? There are certainly some advantages, and those advantages can be tapped into when your leadership is cooperating with the Speaker. So we cannot have a situation where MPP leadership is cooperating with the Speaker and our NDC leadership have challenges cooperating with the Speaker. And if you are given a party whose leadership in Parliament is not working together, what will you do? You make the changes or you resign. And I'm not about to resign. Thank you very much.
That's not strange. Here's how Kwesi Pratt puts the word strange.
This letter is strange. I mean, to say the least, so very strange.
Very, very strange. Okay, now we have done 15 minutes already, I'm being told, so I have 1 minute to wrap up. Now, the analysis Johnson Asiedu Nketia made is something that I'm just about to talk about. Why is Asiedu Nketia wrong? I said I was going to tell you. Now, he's elected party chairman. We're going to find out with how many votes he's elected as party chairman of the NDC or the MPP. Now, I'm trying to explain to you, our viewers, if you buy my explanation, that the relationship between Johnson Asiedu Nketia and the members of parliament of the NDC cannot be the same between the president of Ghana, whether Mills, Akufo-Addo, Kufuor, and the cabinet ministers that he's appointed. But that's the analogy he made, which is blatantly wrong, isn't it? Now, let's look at... Just let's look at this. So I put this on the screen. Idrisu Haruna. Idrisu Haruna was elected by 69,267 constituents of Tamale South. And all of these persons who elected Idrisu Haruna, okay, so the second one is Idrisu Haruna was also elected as minority leader by the members of parliament at the Justice D.F. Hanan Auditorium. That's what we've been told. Asiedu Nketia has explained that. He says that when the party has just finished an election, there's no existing leader because everything is changing. So that one is easy. You can bring the caucus in. But when they have a leader you want to change, you don't have to tell him because the president doesn't change people. Now, the party chairman, and I made the point here the other day, we haven't put on social media because that day my voice was bad, so I'll do it again, about why party chairman should not be elected, that they should be appointed by the presidential candidate. That's the point I'm making right now. What Asiedu Nketia has done is the ramifications of the point I was making, that if you elect a party chairman, same way as you elect a presidential candidate, irrespective of how many votes they're elected by, a party chairman like Asiedu Nketia, who has misunderstood the 1992 constitution, will govern this way. He will do these things that create problems for a political party that wants to win elections 2 years from now, that has to stop focusing on election and focus on these things. That's the kind of leader you get with Johnson Asiedu Nketia. He went to the contest and was elected by 5,569 people. Now he says that Idrisu Haruna, who was elected to parliament by NDC people, MPP people, CPP people, we don't know who they are, they elected him. 69,267 elected Idrisu Haruna. 5,569 elected Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Asiedu Nketia says he's the boss, he can change him. Now immediately you are creating a disjoint in the democratic context. In the democratic context, you are creating a disjoint. That is why the president is the president, because nobody got more votes than the president. In the democratic hierarchy, no one, absolutely no one, secured more votes from the people than the president of Ghana. That's why he's the boss. Now you come here and secure votes by 5,569 people. You say that Idrisu Haruna, who had 69,000 votes, you want to change him. Yes, you can change him. That you won't consult. You won't do any election. Now let's look at the average, the cumulative average of the votes garnered by members of parliament of the NDC. Now it's here. Thank you very much. So the average vote per constituency in 2020's election, as we looked at, average vote, 47,000. So the least MP, who didn't get much, got 47,000 people electing him to parliament. Then comes Johnson Asiedu Nketia, who was elected by let me call him the chairman of the NDC because I don't want to personalize it. It's not about him. It's about any chairman. A chairman of the NDC who is 5,569, he wants to change members of parliament, and he decides to change the members of parliament without consulting them because he, Asiedu Nketia, says that he's the party chairman. And he didn't need to consult them because when the president of Ghana is doing a cabinet reshuffle or any kind of appointment, the president doesn't consult them. That's what Asiedu Nketia said. So, that's how he is. Let me put him back on the screen and finalize this one. I'm going to end this one right now. I think I have here Idrisu Haruna. Yes, this one. All right. So let me finalize. What am I saying here? What should Johnson Asiedu Nketia have said if he had good advice? He would have said, we have put a letter out in parliament to the speaker. Some people have expressed concern. National Council is dealing with it. We are prepared to make the right consultations if we forgot any. We are prepared to fix this thing and move on. Every NDC person should give us their support. We are prepared to go and face a reconciliation situation, consultation situation with the Council of Elders, because luckily for him, Alhaji Muhammad Idrisu has issued a statement. He should just have associated himself with Alhaji Muhammad Idrisu's statement and said that, NDC folks, Council of Elders chairman has spoken. We put out a letter that has created a problem. We'll work to resolve it. And I've called Haruna Idrisu and I've called Muntaka and we are working together. That's all he needed to say. All of these things he went to say, that they are not cooperating with speaker and that the economy is this, so somebody must lead. All of that is not that important. But anyway, it's 10 minutes to the top of there. We don't have much time. We have a big interview coming up. That's Johnson Asiedu Nketia. We are done. Okay, our musician is here. He's going to do 30 seconds of the song that we like. We've been waiting for him. He's the reason why you had to deal with my crooked voice. Sorry. His voice is better. Unyami tunfo. Oheyen soda. Wataban kesieno. A boy a home buying. Oba Tampe, Umaye Freo. Please, let's get it done quickly.
Onyami tumfo oshaya soda wata bankasi no boy won't buy oba tampa okaya famu maya nia eya nani denyina Onyami tumfo oshaya soda wata bankasi no boy won't buy oba tampa Wakaya famu maya niya eya nani denina oh abatapa wakaya famu maya niya eya nani denina oh nyami tufo oshaya zota watabakasi nobody amuba abatapa wakaya famu Maya niya eya nani denina abatamba wakaya famu Maya niya eya nani denina onya mitufo oshaya soda wataba kasi nobody amuba abatamba wakaya famu Maya niya eya nani denina abatamba okaya famu maya niya eya nani denina ewa abatamba okaya famu maya niya eya nani denina abatamba okaya famu maya niya eya
Last matter, just tell him the presidential candidate's favorite song so that he'll sing it, because that's next on the agenda tonight. It's Good Evening Ghana and it's live. But just before we go in, a survey has come that we're going to deal with extensively on Thursday, and here it is. This is research reports predicting the outcome of the impending MPP Delegates Conference to elect a flag bearer. It's jointly published by the Center for Sustainable African Development Initiative, CSADI, UK, and the outcome in international Ghana. Okay, so this is what it says. Briefly, let's go through it. What are the research questions? What is the demographic makeup of the delegates? So that's a question that was asked. What is the level of support for the various viable candidates among the delegates? What will be the effects of ethnicity and religion on the chances of the viable candidate? And on what basis do delegates assess a candidate for the MPP flag bearer position? Next one, 19 constituencies from 16 regions were dealt with all over. All right, now let's move on and see what happened. Okay, there you go. So that survey pulled up these three people. Put the three back on the TV. The survey, and on Thursday, I'm going to deal with it. Kennedy is here today, so it's about Kennedy today. So we will not do too much of the survey. But this survey pulled out Alhaji Mumuni Bawumia on top of the pack. And then you have Kennedy Agyapong and Alan Kyerematen. Let's move on and see the details so that you don't miss our program on Thursday. This is coming fully. The most preferred candidate for the MPP's flag bearer position among this group was Dr. Bawumia, leading in all 16 regions. The closest contender to Dr. Bawumia is Mr. Alan Kyerematen and Mr. Kennedy Agyapong, respectively. Okay, it is worth noting that some polling stations executives, 12.23%, indicated that they have not yet decided on whom to vote for. But that does not significantly change the outcome, it says. All right, so this is just the KSU one. Polling station executives have been polled, and they are the most important people in this survey. 19 constituencies from 16 regions, and they pulled up this permutation. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, Kennedy Agyapong, Alan Kyerematen. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, Alan Kyerematen, Kennedy Agyapong. So tonight, we have an interview with Kennedy Agyapong, and perhaps we will deal with it on Thursday. Surely on Thursday, we'll be dealing with it. Come back, come to me here. On Thursday, we'll be dealing with it. Let's take the text messages right now of what people are saying. Okay, who do we start with? Mikael, are you ready? Yeah.
Great. So, Joseph Jesse, he jokes, he says, we use Sasso to spray the mosquito away. Getting back to serious matters, Farouk Teba says, The more Chairman Asiedu Nketia speaks, the more he exposes his egoistic and radical behavior. The ignorance he continues to exhibit trying to explain the humiliation he has inflicted on Haruna Muntaka leadership is unbelievable. The NDC has rejected a cool-headed Ofosu Ampofo for a notorious Asiedu Nketia. He continues, JDM will suffer for these happenings come 2024 elections. Now, Alidu Umar says, Paul, what Asiedu Nketia did to Honorable Haruna and Muntaka really hurt me a lot as a Muslim, because he should have considered at least one Muslim MP to be a part of the front bench. No wonder why prayers were held in Asawasi constituency last week Friday in solidarity of Honorable Muntaka. Paul, let me assure Asiedu Nketia that his party will lose massively in our Zongo communities come 2024, inshallah. It seems Alidu is unhappy. Okay.
People in America are sending me texts.
Okay, so Gastiman says, Asiedu Nketia continues to be politically ignorant. He consistently creates comic relief, and that's what the NDC foot soldiers want, which has subsequently blinded the entire NDC. The leadership deserves it. Over to you, Paul.
All right, let me take a message from you. Do you have a message or two? Yes, let's do that. She's behind you. Yes, let's see your message.
This is from Stephen upon Efri. I'm glued to my TV. Fire. Honorable himself. This is also from Citizen Sika, Togo. Looking forward to an interesting session. And then lastly from Sena Dijan, Ken for Country. Yes, so that's what I have for now.
So the last time Kennedy Japan came here, and who's calling me? Hello? Hello? I knew who that was. He's afraid to speak. The last time Kennedy Japan came here, we did actually ask him that question about whether he wants to run for president or not. And in that interview he gave us exclusively, this is what he said. Have a look at the video. Okay, the Wizards have corrupted the file. We are doing it again. We'll show it to you before it ends. Kennedy Japan wanted a song played for him. We asked him what is his favorite gospel song. Band, please get ready. I need a good performance. So this is Kennedy Japan's favorite song. Okay, the favorite gospel song. Band, let it go.
Mishira na be Seminio Mingete Yeah, mi wunya minko Mishira na be Mi wuse mi jadi bo I am mi sad I am Mi so mi peja na be Seminio Mingete Yeah, mi wunya minko Mishira na be Mi wuse mi jadi bo I am a sad guy, so I don't see Obinyani mio. Say Diana Missua, Obinyani mio. Say Dia, Obinyani mio. You say Minyani po. I am a sad guy, so I don't see Obinyani mio. Say Diana Missua, Obinyani mio. Say Dia, Obinyani mio, Obinyani mio. I am a sad I am and unti min peja na be. Say minyo, minyate. Yeah, mi wunya minko. Mishira na be. You say mi jani bo. I am a sad I am and unti Obinyani mio. Say Diana Missua, Obinyani mio. Say Dia, Obinyani mio, Obinyani mio. I am a sad guy, so and unti Obinyani mio. Say Diana Missua, Obinyani mio. Say Dia, Obinyani mio. Obinyani mio, I am a sad yes. Obinyani mio, Diana Misua, Obinyani mio, Sayadaya, Obinyani mio, Miwunyamiko, I am a sad yes. Anunti Obinyani mio, Sayadaya Misua, Obinyani mio. Sayadaya, Obinyani mio, I am a sad, Messi, I am a sad Diaso, I am a sad, I am a sad Diaso, I am a sad, I am a sad Diaso, Messi, I am a sad Diaso.
Keep it low. So the guest tonight, we met last night. You know, he's a no-nonsense man, so he doesn't accept an interview, and he wanted to see. He said, "Masa, then question is now, person be some catch me. Let me hear it." And I said, "Oh, I've only one question for you. The question is, why do you want to be president?" He said, "Yeah, I like that. That I can deal with." And then he told me along the line something very interesting, which I'm setting up tonight. He said, "Where are our patriotic songs?" He wants the youth to connect to our patriotic song. So he's gotten some people to put it together. So we have put together one patriotic song for him. We'll put it for him with a montage. We'll look at it. But Honorable Kennedy, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hey, the pressure your people gave me. Sorry. The pressure your people gave me today.
Why?
It wasn't easy. From yesterday, midnight, your son was texting me, "Where is the flyer?" I said, "Oh, the flyer will come tomorrow." Then today, text upon text and phone calls. Then at some point, your campaign manager Kwame Usu called and said, "Look, we are going to cancel the program." I said, "Oh, but I saw Kennedy this morning at breakfast." He said, "But you are not bringing the flyer." So I know that your social media is quite effective. Why do you like the song?
You know, thank you very much for asking this question.
It doesn't matter. Just do
I like this song because it reminds me of where I'm coming from and where I've gotten to and where I will go.
I like the way you're going. So what is Obinyani? How does it?
Yeah.
What are the words in the song that?
You know, whatever is happening in my life, I never even expected that this will happen. Somebody born in that village, actually in Wa and brought to Asin Dompim.
It's okay.
Going through hustling and everything in life. And where I am today, I think it resonates with the lady's song that is like a dream. You know, so I always listen to the words carefully and I enjoy it. It reminds me of my youthful age, my background and everything. You know, I was born and bred into a poor home. I would say into the valley, and I've crawled, getting up on top. So everything is like a dream to me. Although it's through hard work, I still feel like it's a dream. Checking my background and where I'm coming from. That's why. Yeah, if it's indeed it's a dream.
Or it's reality.
Let's
take it one more.
Mishira nabe, seminyo, minyete, yeah mi wunya minko. Mishira nabe, you say minyani po. I am a sad guy. Hey, misu mimpecha nabe, seminyo, minyete, yeah mi wunya minko. Mishira nabe, you say mi jadi po. I am a sad guy. Hey, anunti obinyani mio. Sayadaya miswa obinyani mio. Sayadaya obinyani mio. Mi wunya minko. I am a sad guy. Anunti obinyani mio. Sayadaya miswa obinyani mio. Sayadaya obinyani mio. Mi wunya minko. I am a sad guy. Enunti mimpecha nabe, Seminio, Minyate, yeah, me wunya minko, Shira Nabe, you say me Johnny Bo, I am a sad, I don't see Obinyani Mio, say Diana Missua, Obinyani Mio, say Daya, Obinyani Mio, get a Japosi, I am a sad, I Obinyani no, say Diana Sua, Obinyani no, say Daya, Obinyani no, Miunyamiko, I am Missy, Missy, I am Missy Daya, so I am. Baya was said I saw.
Okay, so the video that got corrupted is ready now. Honorable Kenneth Agyapong was on the show here, I think last year or so. I was wearing a strange green suit. I really like that jacket. I don't know where it is these days. And I asked him, do you want to be president? That's what he said. Honorable Kenneth Agyapong has talked about if he's president, does he want to be president?
I don't.
Okay, at least you got the answer before you left. So you don't want to be president?
I don't.
There are wild rumors that you might be running for the MPP's flag bearers.
I have said that you don't need to be president to effect change in people's lives. So whatever I'm doing in my own small
But you
way,
need power. You need MP, you need minister, you need that. You can do it better if you're a minister.
I donated to 37, not
Yes,
because
I was going to talk about it.
I'm a member of parliament.
$100,000. But you are the chairman of the security.
I donated all these PPEs not because I'm a member of parliament. So
Yes.
get it straight. So I'm saying that you don't need only to be president to effect change in people's lives.
I understand.
Again, that also doesn't mean I'm not competent to do it.
But are you running for the MPP's flag bearership, or you
Now,
don't,
who
or you
said
don't
that?
know yet?
Who said that? I am
There's
not.
been rumors. Okay, so let me tell you the list of the rumors. It is yourself, and Ben Efson has conducted a research on this matter. You know that. It's yourself, Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia, the vice president, Mr. Alan Chematin, the trade minister, recently added Honorable Dr. Akoto Efri, Usu Efri Akoto, the Greek minister, Joe Gate, the former minister for railway, and now I believe Honorable Asamoah Boateng, something like that. Okay. So
I was with Asamoah Boateng. Asamoah Boateng wants to be chairman of the party.
Okay, so he has
So
abandoned.
who
And then
gave you
Honorable
this?
Boakye Ejako, sorry, I left that out. Boakye Ejako.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the list that has been making the rounds. Are you telling us tonight that certainly you shouldn't be part of that list? You are not part of that list.
I'm not interested in things that will destroy my party.
Why would that destroy?
Yeah,
Why would you contesting the post
because
destroy your
it's too
party?
early. We have not even finished forming government.
Forming government, yes, that's true.
And now, left and right, everybody is lobbying to be, you see, it's creating sharp division in the party.
Already.
Yes, and that is not what we need. That is not.
So you may do it, but you won't say it now.
I don't know. I'm not interested. I've told you.
But
that I'm not
if
interested.
we your supporters,
You say what?
If we your supporters put pressure on you to do it, what happens?
If you put pressure
Yeah,
on
we
me,
your supporters will put pressure on you.
I don't know. I don't know.
So you
because
may do it.
I'm not keen to do anything. I only want to make
But you
a
have not been a
difference.
minister before.
Yeah,
Why do you
make a
think that you
difference.
can do presidency? You've not been a minister
Excuse me,
before.
you know how many companies I run and the people I take care
That's
of?
not being minister. That's not policy.
Now, minister, I know your cuckoo, your mama, no local church. Please, I use my head to create money. If I want to be president, I'll be president in style.
In style, eh? But you've never been vice president before.
I will whip you good. Upe, fix the country.
Yeah.
In 2 years, what was you fixing Ghana? Straighten it.
Okay,
But that is what
so
we
you
need.
have all this
But
energy.
we-
You have all this energy. You have all this commitment. Yet you don't want to run, and you are not telling us who you are supporting. Because you have supported Akufo-Addo all the way. We
You
know
see,
that.
but I'm saying that definitely I'm going to support somebody. But it's too early, my brother.
Who are you going to support?
I won't tell you. I don't know.
Oh, but
yet.
you already know. Oh, you don't know.
I don't know yet.
Should I run for it, for the MPP candidature?
Well, you are not a true party member, so I will not support you.
Opinganimio, mi wunya mingo, I am Messiah. Enunti opinganimio, saya Diana Mesua, opinganimio, saya Daya, opinganimio, mi wunya mingo, I am Messiah. Enunti opinganimio, saya Daya Mesua, opinganimio, saya Daya, opinganimio, Honorable Kennedy Japonsi, I am Messiah. Enunti mishira na ben se minyinio minyete.
All right.
All of them like the song.
Yeah, they like the song. But there you were saying, I don't want to be president.
Yes.
That the party has not even formed the government.
We got it.
And then they are chasing, if I want to be president, I'll do it in style. But I don't want to be president.
Yes.
That was last 2021.
Yes.
January 2023. Kennedy Japan is now leading the pack. Okay, hold it. I want viewers to hold it. I'll come to this answer. But let's look at the montage we made for you with the patriotic song. And let's see how it looks like. Okay.
The situation we are in, things are tough. No doubt about it. But it will promote tourism in Ghana. So let us think along those lines where we're going to make money. And not only look at the amount here and say that is a crime.
When you go to Dubai, when you go to South Africa, Cape Town, when you go to Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, just people, Bahamas, Antigua, Trinidad and Tobago, all these countries are making money from the sea. What are we doing? I'll be like Donald Trump. I'll build a long wall, both sides, so that nobody ofrinifia na wakotu ewira no ade agu odonumu na odono so etniko epunu. No, we'll prevent it and clean the whole Odo River and put boats on it.
I can't guarantee when we end the program tonight because we are now starting and it's past 10. Everybody is watching. Our social media is bursting. New York, good evening. How are you? Those of you sent me the text that you've taken a 2-hour break from work and you are on your phones and you are watching Kennedy Japan from America. That's how they call him. So, sir, all put together, why do you now want to be president? Why?
Okay, the answer is simple. And what I'll say, I'll quote the Bible where it says, there are times and seasons. I have always thought that I could effect change in people's life without necessarily being president. But I've come to realize that especially with the COVID and Russia-Ukraine war, I feel whatever pragmatic approach I have towards development, I should only be president so that a vision will come through and I'll be able to change the fortunes of this country. I have tried it in business fields. I employ a lot of people, but still there are many young men and women, I'll call the youth, that are not working, which clearly indicates to me that being only a businessman, I cannot help this youth enough. But indeed, if I'm president, where I can express my vision, my views to everybody, and bring the whole country together to move this country, I believe there will be a great impact where young men and women will complete school and they will have jobs. So I said to myself, look, I've taken time when I was watching whatever played over. I said that it was too early because President Akufo-Addo had just been sworn in and people were taking sizes. That I want to be this, I want to be that. I wanted to help the government to be stabilized before I will come out and make any decision or whatever. But indeed, I wasn't interested. But now I'm interested because I've seen that Ghana, successive governments have done their part. When it comes to education, for instance, you see that most of our educational structures or whatever we put in place are just theory. We need abstract thinkers. We need pragmatic solutions to our problems. So when it comes to polytechnic, when I was traveling to America, for instance, when I was going, we had polytechnics in this country. I came back and almost all the polytechnics have been turned into universities. That is a gap where you don't have the middle class technicians who can support engineers to build. Everybody calls himself engineer and sitting in the office. Whereas the base, in Germany, for instance, when you go, they call it Fachhochschule. They train these artisans and they take over every installations. As an employer, I've come to realize that most of the graduates coming out of college are doing or come out with liberal arts, human resource, accounting, management, finance. When it comes to engineering, IT, you have very few people coming out with...
What you are saying is resonating with what the education minister is saying.
Yes.
He's been talking about engineering a lot, Dr. Educhum.
Yeah, STEM.
Yes, he's been talking about
science,
a lot.
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yes.
Especially with engineering and technology, we are lacking.
And maybe mathematics.
Yes. Maths, it is very easy
So, Honorable, you are asking for a structural change to our system.
Precisely.
And you have to be president to do that?
Yes. Because I've been a member of parliament for 23 years. I've served on several committees and I've made several suggestions how to change our economy. And I believe that when we use pragmatic approach, instead of reciting from chapter 1 to the end of the textbook and nothing comes out of it, we should do this, we should do that. I've made several suggestions. And because I don't hold any position, an ordinary member of parliament.
It didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it didn't go anywhere. They choose to accept it or not.
Who is the they?
I mean, the executives.
The president and his team?
No, not the president. President seldom come to parliament to engage, with the exception of State of the Nation.
You mean the ministers?
With the ministers. From Kwashiga's time, I suggested that I and my partner went to Holland with yam. We experimented it, and they realized that the starch content in yam is the same as the one in potatoes. So if they store potatoes for 8 months, they can store yam for 8 months. And ever since I went to, my first committee was a great committee. So I suggested this, that look, minister, this is what we can do. One of my business is storage facilities. I keep telling them that, look, why is it that Ghana imports fish to the tune of $240 million a year, whilst we have the same sea as Mauritania? Simple. The technology is simple, but we have ignored it. The technology is that you build a coastal with the blast freeze machines. What I mean by blast freeze is a lower temperature, very cold, at minus 40 degrees. When you catch the fish, you first store it in the blast freeze at minus 40 degrees. Then 24 hours, you move it into the cold room, minus 10. That meets international standards so that you can export. But my brother, when you look at our coastline, these fishermen, they don't have any cold stores with blast freeze machines that when they catch the fresh fish, they can store them. I introduced this, I said this several times, and one of the agric guys at the ministry suggested that, oh, we can smoke the fish. I said, Jesus Christ, these are the guys who are leading this nation.
Smoke fish? But
yes.
If you're exporting, you need millions of pieces. Are you going to smoke all of them?
Yeah, you know, but that was the answer that he gave me. I was shocked. I said, wow, we have a problem in this country. I had just come from America, so I didn't understand them. How can you smoke fish and go and import fresh fish into this country? All these suggestions have been made. Another example is tourism. I dared tourism to give me or sell one of the castles to me, and let me show them how
to
can
do
make
it. Yeah.
money
Tourism
out of
from
it.
the castles are deplorable.
Right.
But they are very good historical.
Yeah, that we can make a lot of money.
Why didn't they give you one? Cape Coast, Elmina, Shama?
Well, you know, I don't know. I cannot speak to that.
So your decision to be president is also as a result of a bit of frustration of getting things done.
Yeah, getting things done in this country. And that is why...
But Kennedy, where you sit, I mean, you're a very powerful person. You're number 2 to Akufo-Addo's man, and you can't get things done. It may well be that maybe the things you want done are not as simple as you look at it.
You see, there is nothing simple in the world. You need to challenge yourself. And anything that you put your mind to it, you'll be able to do it. That is what I want to inculcate into the youth of this country. That sky is the limit, and therefore they should dream big. No myopic thinkers. Let's challenge ourselves. What any white man has done on earth, a black man can do it too. We've been in classrooms with white men. They were not extraordinary. But when they come out of college, because of their commitment to work, anything that they give them, they get involved, they religiously get involved and do it and get it done. But unfortunately, the black people, I don't know if it's inferiority complex or whatever, we are not able to, you know, do things for us to compete with the white people. So I think where I am today, look, I don't want to die with my vision. And the only way to let Ghanaians know that a black man, a Ghanaian, can also do it is to vie for this presidency. And I stand for 3 things: patriotism, honesty, and discipline.
Okay. I'll come back to that. So the conversation is just starting, and tonight we'll be asking Kennedy Agyapong other questions. So the conversation is just starting right now. We'll be asking him about Ahmed Suale, of course. We'll ask him that question. Who is Ahmed Suale? Where is he? Why is he where he is? Does he know anything about this? We'll talk about that. Okay, we'll be asking him in terms of economic performance of Nana Akufo-Addo and Ken Ofori-Atta. Is it true that is Ukraine and Russian war, or are there other things that may have occasioned this one? We'll ask John. Did I say John Kennedy? We'll ask Kennedy that question tonight. Honorable Ohene Kennedy Agyapong is our guest. We'll be asking him questions also about sports, and he's already touched on tourism. We'll ask him about tourism. What does he think of sports? What does he think of tourism? And then we'll be talking to him about how we'll break the 8 occur, and then we'll spend a bit of time on what he thinks about President Mohammed's bid to be president again. So everything is just starting. Don't go anywhere. We have a commercial break, don't we? All right, we have a commercial break, so we take it now so that we don't lose it, and we'll be back after the break. Tell the people who were not watching that they've missed the first part, but the rest is yet to come.
Dummy dribbles to the right. He's got an opportunity on the edge of the penalty box. He's gone past the defense. This must surely be it. Goal! It's a goal!
With only 150 pesos, you can win up to 16.5 million Ghana cedis in the Betway Atina Ketia jackpot. A jackpot muhine. Bet responsibly, not for persons under the age of 18. This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Secretary.
Yes, boss.
Patron Fakot document in Bren.
Pacho Medeba. Boss, Pacho. Oh, sorry, boss. Boss, na Edrobe name I'm say.
It's Unti Tontina 74 mix shanka.
Wow.
Over for general well-being.
Sir.
Very good. And money man you have it madam. Kope binato.
Any okrojio.
Kope binato. Ghana for say munim say medumani say metwitwa age amanfo. Sa ena me hia edro a ebetwitwa age me efi yare ahodro bebre. Na metumi agina me na so age amanfo. Asemi num Tontina 74 mixture. Emami apomodin e supporting the immune system na emami asomdwe.
A drawing your mapping for about a woman manufo. Any kwada woni mfie FDA aje trading krato yato.
Kaduna Ide, football from around the world. Philly on HD Plus from 17 January 2023. Score HD is available only on HD Plus channel 151.
A state-of-the-art facility built with your family needs in mind. A medical center positioned for all your fertility problems and other diseases. Medimosis Clinic and Prostate Center. Our goal is to help our patients achieve and maintain optimal health. We have fully functional OPD laboratories in all our branches. Do you have problems urinating? Medimosis is the ultimate solution. Our Prostacure X capsules and Prostacure Herbal Tea treat prostate problems. Afromosis capsules gives you maximum performance, and for the ladies, Femacure X capsules solves all your menstrual problems. Locate Medimosis Clinic and Prostate Center at Adenta Barrier near the traffic light, Ashaman Ajekojo, Kumasi Ahinima Kokobing, and in Accra Ministries after the Ghana Highways Yard. Call 0244 068 447. We accept National Health Insurance card and all other private insurance card. Medimosis Clinic and Herbal Center, your ultimate solution for prostate problems.
All right, we'll start it. We're going to do one batch of text messages before we get into the rest of the story. But I will start with the text messages, two important ones. One coming from the one of the groups in London. They say they are in Birmingham and they are watching together. They say, hang on a minute. I'm watching this show and it's very revealing how Kennedy answered the questions the first time. Okay, so in doing this, is he hurting the party now that he's contesting? Or what does it mean? University of Lincoln PhD research student is the one asking that. Maybe he didn't hear all. I'll let Kennedy answer it. But I have a revealing one from Imani Ghana's Franklin Kujo. And Franklin Kujo is also revealing something that can make a headline. He said he's never voted in 14 years. Okay, here it is. It says, I didn't realize how much of a force Kennedy was until he announced his intention to contest the flag bearership of the NPP. He makes very practically wise analysis without flowery, deceptive language. And his base and delegates can have more of him. I will be studying his bid for the highest office. He just might earn my vote after 14 years of not having voted for any politician. That's Franklin Kujo of Imani Ghana. Well, Honorable Ohine Ejepong, you are making some waves. People who have not voted before say they may vote for you. All right, Mikhail, let's take one each or two each from you and then let's move on.
Yuri Joshua starting us off says, I am Kenergized. And from Kobi Kotoku, he says, good evening, Paul. Thumbs up, always on point. Honorable Ken, I really believe in him, but please ask him, are the delegates going to vote for him for us? We're ready for him, but our fear is the delegates, because I only believe his disciplinarian attitude alone can change the country. Some of us want, some of us know what he can do. Thank you. Moving on.
Okay, so Ebenezer Frimpong says, going forward, all delegates of the NPP must assess vividly the capabilities of Honorable Kennedy Ejapong. I believe he is built to lead the party on our mission to break the 8. He is the general populace's favorite, and I vouch for him in this race, coming from Frimpong Ebenezer, the former TESCON president of the University of Ghana. Kweku Boedu24 says, the media team of Honorable Ken should use the just shown video as a campaign tool. The interview hasn't started yet, but we can feel his passion to change Ghana for the better. Over the years, things have changed with Ken, and we know for sure that he's ready for the job. Lastly, from Ofori Kofi, Honorable Ken is a very fine gentleman, a kind-hearted man of great wisdom. I love him to the core, and I wish he would be a running mate to Dr. Bawumia, because no matter what, he is winning. Over to you, Karen.
Okay, thank you. This one is from Kwekubwe. He says, this man has good implications of being the president of this state due to his superior ideas and how he often makes things look very impressive. This is a question to Ken. He says, Paul, let Honorable Ken tell us how NPP could ensure fairness and transparency in the forthcoming flag bearer elections of the party. Over to you.
He's insisting that he's from Asin Fosu constituency. He says, please, Paul, we are all here in Asin Fosu watching. Please ask Kennedy and please let him say yes. Is Kennedy ready to be the running mate of Alhaji Bawumia if Kennedy comes second? If he doesn't want to be running mate, will he be ready to be trade or a Greek minister in future? All of those questions are coming up together with all the questions that we set up for Kennedy. Let's come to you. What do you have? Should we go? Honorable Kennedy wants a pen. A pen and paper. Please get a pen and paper. Get a pen and paper. All right, they're getting a pen and paper for him. You can walk into the studio and put it on. You know, here we break the rules, so you can always walk in and give it to him. No problem. Just be on camera. It's fine. We don't worry about that. Okay, so he got his pen and paper. Exchange rate, high inflation, high interest rates and inflation. That's a big story for right now as we are talking about individual debt bond holders. Okay, so let's continue with the questions now that he's jotted them down. Honorable Kennedy Ejapong, let me come to you straight on economy. Has the Akufo-Addo government, has this economy failed after 2020?
Well, I want to be blunt. I know a lot of people will not like it, but that's the situation. To be honest with you, whatever President Akufo-Addo is going through with this Ghana's economy, I can say confidently that the whole world governments are going through the same. because of Russian-Ukraine war, especially after the COVID. So I always say that if we are voting today in the whole world, 80% of sitting governments will lose. Will lose in the sense that the hardships all over the world, the citizens cannot bear it, and therefore is making every government unpopular. But I will also say that things probably, from hindsight, there are certain things we didn't do right that I think if we have done it differently, the economy would not have been this level to where we are today. Example is, I believe in practical things and creating jobs for the youth. What the program NAPCO, NAPCO, for instance, employed 100,000 graduates at 700 cedis a month, meaning 700 million a month. And 700 million, we could have established industries for these young men. You will not get 100,000 people working, but at least the sustainability would have been there, where young men and women, even if they are 20,000 out of 100, will have permanent jobs. Okay, so from 2017 to date, if NACOP was spending 700 million, you multiply it by 6, that would have been giving you about 400 and something, 4.2 billion. And my brother, 4.2 billion would have established a lot of industries here. And the ripple effect, those permanent workers, their family members, and everybody, you will see that, and taxes that we're going to get out of that. Although in the initial stages, there will be challenges because you need to build the industries. But in the long run, it would have been more beneficial than what we are going through. So I would say that, yes, by and large, there have been some mistakes that we've made that are not means worse. But the problem that every country is facing in the world, Ghana is not exceptional. And therefore, propagandas that go on every day, we have to be careful, because it did happen under President Kufuor's era, where the first 6-7 years he did marvelously well, and the world crude oil prices went up from $59 to $147 in May 2008. Then July it went to 174. Prices went up, transportation, food, and Ghanaians did not forgive MPP. That time I warned them, said, look, if you make a mistake and vote for NDC, and within 6 months, Ghanaians were crying.
After 6 months of NDC?
Yes. So the same thing is happening. But I will not sit here and say that I'm an MPP and therefore all is well. All is not.
But let me ask you something. MPP and NDC argue about this. MPP said John Mahama is incompetent. The incompetent one, they called him. And then MPP came to power. Today, the NDC is also saying MPP is incompetent because of a particular denominator, IMF. John Mahama went to the IMF in 2013 or so. Kufuor and Ken Ofori-Atta have gone to the IMF. After they inherited IMF, exited Ghana from the IMF, they've had to go back to the IMF. So the people are saying that if you are incompetent, I'm also incompetent. What is your analysis of this NDC IMF, MPP IMF?
You see, during the time that NDC went to IMF, I think in 2015.
Yeah.
Okay. There was no global crisis or pandemic. Okay. There were no wars that affected the whole world's economy. So you could see that it was a complete mismanagement of the economy. I'm not holding brief for MPP, but at least they can lean on something and say that, look, the COVID. Let me take this opportunity. I'll be boldly and blunt and explain to you that most countries, a lot of people lost their jobs.
Yes.
They didn't have jobs. They were staying home.
After COVID, during and after COVID.
Okay, some were given stipends to survive. Ghana, no worker in this country was asked to stay home.
Government workers.
Government workers.
And they were paid.
And they were paid.
Even when they couldn't go to work.
Right.
And they didn't pay water bill and light bill.
Right. You add it yourself. You know the performance of MPP during the COVID. I'm not holding brief. We've made some mistakes that we all have to accept, and I'll be the first person to accept. But when you compare the two governments, Akufo-Addo and Mahama, Mahama is not alternative to Ghana.
Why not?
Because the man has been fortunate to succeed at a most for 2 years. He has been fortunate to go one term, which is 4 years, 6 years. And we saw what happened in this country. So what is he going to tell Ghanaians again? What is Mahama going to tell Ghanaians?
He's telling Ghanaians that MPP is corrupt.
MPP is corrupt. NDC is corrupt. That is why you have Kenneth Japon coming in.
Kenneth Japon is MPP.
I'm a disciplined MPP.
But how do we believe? How do we believe? And this is a rhetorical question. Forgive me, I'm doing a devil's advocate. How do we believe that Kenneth Japon is not corrupt when you are so rich? In Ghana, you are rich. You are a thief.
You see, I work hard. I was hawking on the street. I was born into a poor home. Like I said earlier.
We hear these stories all the time.
Let me tell you something. Born into a poor home, hawking on the street, washing plates in Germany, driving taxi in America, establishing business, and today I'm here. I have something to show for, and that is unique. Unfortunately, in this country, you consider or perceive every businessman to be criminal.
Yes, because he's given a minister bribe before. Most businessmen.
Well, I don't give bribes.
Have you given money to anybody who gave you a contract or something like
that?
Yeah,
after everything, Christmas, maybe I'll give you something. Yes, fine. But I don't go and entice.
That take this and give me the contract.
Take this and give me. You can check from everywhere. I won't do it.
Is there corruption in Ghana?
Corruption everywhere in the world.
Are you corrupt?
I'm not. Let me give you one example. I met an Indian last week, and he said there's a project that he thinks I can influence. The actual cost of the project, the estimate that they've given them, is 26 million. Okay, the guy comes to say that he can do it for 9. The actual cost is 9, but of course, as a businessman, he has to make profit with whoever introduced them, 3 million, making 12. Then he said to me, I'm going to give you 3 million. So I'm going to, excuse me, I will add it to the 12 to make 15. And I said no to him. The Ghana first. I don't want the 3 million. If you know you can do the job for 12 million, so be it. The young man that came from America with their ticket and everything, whatever you want to do for them, yes. But me, I won't take any money. And the Indian man was there with his young engineer son who is engineer. He said, wow, I have goose pimples. I've worked in Africa for 22 years. I have never seen a black man reject $3 million like you.
Why did you reject it?
I rejected because if you know the actual cost is 9 and you want to inflate it to 15 and give me 3 million at the expense of the poor people that have no good education, no drinking water, hell no. Joy FM did well last week by showing a school somewhere in the north, Pandai or so, kids that are lying on the floor. And I will go and take $3 million. No, I won't do it. Ghana first.
Have you not done a government contract yourself before?
I've
executed
executed several contracts.
Did you add any money?
Yeah, of course, as a businessman.
For yourself?
Yeah, for myself. Yeah, I'm the.
Why did you add? You are a patriotic Ghanaian.
But if you are patriotic, it doesn't mean I'm investing, say, $20 million in a project.
Then you get $20 million back.
How do you get $20 million
back? Yeah, so that's
then how would your business stay? You see, what you need is the $20 million with everything, taxes and everything. Your margin should not be more than 30%.
Of the 20 million?
Yeah, so after paying, say 15% taxes and everything, if your profit margin is 15%, you stay in business. And that's my principle. I will not go for a soldier came to me just this evening before coming here, and he's telling me a story why he's being removed from his position because they bring a figure and the actual amount is 10, they increase it to 200, and he challenges them. Now he has a problem. See, that is corruption.
Yeah.
And that is what I stand for.
So the money that is shared before the business is the corruption. The one that is shared after the business is okay.
No, the margin too.
Oh, the margin?
Yes.
So you share it after the business, make sure the margin is not more than 30%.
Yes. But if you know it's 200 and you go there, increase it to 500, my brother, that is not fair.
So if I do a government contract, I execute a government contract of 500 cedis, I am allowed to benefit 30% of the 500 cedis.
Right.
Something like that.
Right.
Okay. So
and that includes all the taxes you are going to pay.
Everything. So that I can stay in business.
Right. So that you can stay in business.
I see. Okay. You are still on Good Evening Ghana and it's live. We've just been doing the economy and we did the IMF questions that had. Okay. So if Ghanaians were voting, why should John Mahama not be an option?
The fear of John Mahama coming to power is that, one, John Mahama has not proven himself to be a good leader because he failed this country. So giving him another opportunity, like when when he went out of power, he was going around now telling people that he has learned his lesson. This man, from his track record, he needs only one term, 4 years. Even when he knew that if he manages the economy well, he will have another term opportunity, that he could not even do it. Now that he has only one term, God knows what this man is coming to do, if it is not greed. So I'm scared for Ghanaians that alternative is not good for us, especially this message goes to MPP, that the alternative is not good for Ghana. And therefore, we have to be careful. And whatever decision we are going to take, we'll make sure we think of the country first. There are challenges, not might. There are challenges.
If the MDC didn't have John Mahama, but had another candidate, it could be anyone, Spill Gabrad, Dr. Dufour, Guzitan, or Kwesi Ahoy, would it make a difference?
Yeah, they stand a better chance than Mahama.
They stand a better chance with an unknown candidate?
Yes.
Who has not been president before?
Yes.
With President Mahama?
Yes.
In the minds of ordinary people?
Yeah.
Will people not be so frustrated with MPP and say that, to hell with these people, just anybody at all, anyone at all? So then John Mahama gets a collateral benefit from that.
Yeah, you are on point. It's very, very true. That is why I'm cautioning my party people that, well, we have 2 years to make a difference again in society in terms of development. If we are able to do it, I think Ghanaians will give us another chance.
To break the 8?
Yeah, but with me, we'll break the 8.
With another candidate?
With Kennedy Japan.
Without Kennedy Japan, can we break the 8?
Without Kennedy Japan, well, it will be tough.
When you say with Kennedy Japan, do you mean Kennedy Japan as number 1 on the ticket or number 2 on the ticket?
Kennedy Japan, number 1 on the ticket, you can break the 8.
Kennedy Japan, number 2 on the ticket?
Tough.
All right, this is still Good Evening Ghana, and my lady, I'm doing these interruptions for you so you understand that we ended another part over there. We ended the John Mahama question. That's what we just ended. Now this is getting interesting. Okay, Kennedy Japan says that he is the one to break the 8 for the NPP. What's the time now? Okay, this less than 15 minutes to the top of the hour at 11 o'clock. Okay. Now let's go to the question about how he's going to solve that problem. From the text message, somebody asked, exchange rates, high inflation. I don't know whether he's going to say that his economic policies will solve it, but there's exchange rates issue, high inflation, and then high interest rate. Okay. Are you concerned about these? I've heard you talk about losing money recently when the dollar crashed.
I'm very, very much concerned about
as president, are you thinking about that?
Yes, of course.
How are you going to achieve that?
First of all, I'm a businessman. Just this morning, I was watching TV, UTV, and it was announced that they have increased, Bank of Ghana has increased the policy rate by 1%, 100 basis points, from 27% to 28%. That is ridiculous.
Why?
My brother, in this world, you see, most of industries that are companies that are succeeding in this country are owned by foreigners. Why? The answer is that these foreigners take loans from their country at low rates as 5% to 7%. And they come here. Now, a local businessman like myself going for a loan to compete with an Indian company that produces this bottle of water, and I'm also going to produce this bottle of water. The Indian company came in with an interest
from India Exim,
right, wherever he comes from, with 5% interest on his loan. Now, if Ghana, the base rate is 28, the banks, the commercial banks, is hovering around
30 something,
40.
Oh, it's already at 40.
Yes. Meanwhile, it should have been +2 or -2
of the base. Yes,
of the base, but no system is working.
They don't trust the CD,
so everybody is giving any price that he wants, and interest rate is about 40. So how on earth am I going to compete with a company that took a loan with interest of 5%, and I took a loan with interest of 42%? Whose product? These two examples here, although they are different shapes, it's the same water.
Yeah, same water.
If an Indian is producing this at 10 cedis and I'm producing this at 15, whose product will move faster?
The Indian will move faster.
Fine.
So, but can Bank of Ghana isolate the people who are borrowing for industry purposes? Not everyone is borrowing for industry purposes.
I don't know.
Maybe they should do that in terms of policy, that if you are borrowing strictly for industry purposes, it will be cheaper than borrowing for other things, consumption and other things.
Thank you for coming to that. I have an idea called the Asia Miracle. And the Asia Miracle is simple. If you really want to improve this economy, let's adapt the Asia Miracles. Check Korea and see. What they did was that, look, I know gentleman A is into this industry, but he has financial constraint to expand his business. The government comes to you and said that, look, if you want to produce this water, you are doing 10, we want you to do 1,000. What can we do for you? So we need equipment A, B, C. Korean government will not give you the money directly, but they will send it to the source, the manufacturer, and pay for it. What the agreement they have with you is, you say within a year, you'll be able to finish the factory. The first 4 months or 6 months that you promised that the equipment will be in, the date that you gave them, when you have, say, 28, you gave the day 28, on the 30th of January, they are there to check if the equipment have arrived. They'll give you warning if it is not. The second time, they'll give you warning. The third time, they take over the factory or the company and give it to another person.
But it will continue the production?
Yes.
Okay.
Another person.
To do it?
To do it. By so doing, they were able to help their businesses to improve.
Indigenous business.
Yeah. And now they are very, very competitive. When you look at Hyundai, and all those.
But it's not the same that Alan Chamatin has been doing with one district, one factory. It's not the same they did with the Kumfi Jews. It's not the same thing. Government gave them funding. And now the Kumfi is exporting.
You see, what is happening? One district, one factory. Perfect. No doubt about it. And now, even today, my steel plant, I had to pay 2,150,000 to clear it because they've removed the exemption. And the furnace just arrived. And I had to pay 2,160,000. One, the exchange rate was, I say exchange, sorry, forgive me. When the waiver was there, I would have paid maybe 160.
Now the waiver has been cancelled.
Right, cancelled. So it shows the importance of the one district, one factory program. Now I'm coughing it. Assuming I don't have that money, the equipment will be sitting at the port. The mortgage will occur.
So you think one district, one factory you will keep?
Yeah.
You will keep that policy?
Perfect. Perfect. But what we have to do to the one district, one factory is that anybody gets up with a dream that President Kufuor says that one district, one factory. So I have a business plan. And from A to Z, he wants the government to fund it. I will do it. Show me the idea you have, the experience you have for government to give you so much money to go and do whatever you want to do. It's important. Because without experience, if you go to small business administration in America, they ask all these questions. If you don't have any experience, I know what I'm talking about because a man has been coming to me severally to go to Exim Bank and speak to the boss and all those things. And whatever they gave him, he's still asking for capital. That, I'm afraid, won't work. What will work? I use a young man in my village that he was into pottery, or he's still into pottery, and he was producing 70 crates a day. He requested $1 million from Exim Bank, and Exim Bank gave him 1 million cedis. Today, this boy every day produces 560
from
crates.
70.
Yeah, from 70. Asimfusu, go there, it's there. And anytime he brings me eggs, you open it and it has 2 yolks in it. I don't know how he does it.
I see.
Yes, 1 million. Such a boy, that is the Asia miracle. We need to help him expand. Okay? Not that one district, one factory, everybody comes, oh, I have my business plan. Then the whole government has to give you every peswa. Anything that you do not work hard for it, your heart is not there, the commitment is not there, because the money is not yours. If you sweat and make money, you value it, you appreciate it. So if you go for a loan or government gives you assistance, you will not put it at the back of your mind that, oh, the money is not mine, so I'm going to spend it. So these are some of the approaches that I'm going to use. Let's talk about exchange rate. Exchange rate, whether we like it or not, what we need in this country is simple. This is what I call Asin Dompim LA Middle School economics. Let our export exceed import.
So everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that. You see, I believe in pragmatic solutions. You know that. You have a nice suit this evening. You are importing rice.
Yes.
About $300 million a year.
Tomatoes.
When we have arable lands from Atebubu or Mampong, Ejura, all the way to Pusiga and Paga.
That will take some time, wouldn't it? Because your competitor, Uzofri Akoto, says that for the last, since 2017, he has stopped the importation of maize because he's producing maize. Have you heard that?
If you stop importation of maize, it means what? Do you export maize?
At least we don't import.
Yeah, I have a problem. You see, you have to dream big. I have said several times that I will use the 5 northern regions, Afram Place, Accra Place, to feed the whole Africa. Even my team sometimes disagree with me.
Why do you need to be president to do that?
Yeah, because as I speak, we have myself and my partner, we have farms at Atebubuamantin. We've acquired 125,000 acres. We've cleared 30,000 acres. And we have a starch plant ready. And we have 960 people working. See, I made a statement some time ago and people were being diabolic, saying that I said that anybody who lives in Accra and says that he has made money in Accra and is going to go into farming is a fool. Because that agrarian style of farming, you lose your money. I also disagree that the minister was saying that graduates coming from university should go into farming. What type of farming? What inputs are you giving them? Okay? So if 44 years ago when my brother-in-law married my cousin because he had 2 acres, today still when you go to Asin-Domtom, 2 acres. That is why when you go to Cote d'Ivoire, a population of 21 million against 30 or 31 million in Ghana here, they produce over 2 million tons of cocoa, and Ghana is struggling to produce 800,000 tons. Why? It is because of agrarian style. The minister might have done well, but I have a problem. The problem is he did not think of long term. Because irrigation, we need irrigation. If you want to go into mechanized farming, first thing is irrigation, especially in the north this season. Look, I went there.
One village, one dam by Dr. Baumia
is doing very well.
Is it?
Yes, I was from Wa to Sola, Kaba, and I saw these village dams over there.
It's doing well?
It's doing well.
One village, one dam is working?
Yes, I've seen it. I won't lie. Not that I'm competing with them and therefore I'll come and... No, it's working.
So we should congratulate Alhaji Baumia for that?
I don't have a problem with that.
Will you congratulate him?
Yeah, why not?
Can you say it?
If he's the one who brought one village, one dam. But honestly, this is the first time you're telling me. Because I know how Akumsin was the one who was doing it. So no problem. But if it's him, we give him credit. Okay. Why not? Mm-hmm. What I don't like about it, they are making propaganda that one district, one village, one dam is not working. I saw it. I went to Northeast and Naregu, I saw it. It's working. The problem we have is, you see, the difference between me and any other candidate is that the theory is too much.
With the other candidates?
Yes, I believe in pragmatism. You have done this. You have one village, one dam. No irrigation, no farms around those dams. You see them just fetching water.
To go and use at home?
Yes, that's it. So what have you done? Use this to irrigate the land, especially this season. So that in South Africa, when I think Johannesburg to Koro or whatever, you see the land. And the Ghanaian guys were telling me that 365 days, there's no shortage of corn or maize.
In South Africa?
Yes. And we can do same here with these dams and irrigation. So anybody who says that Ghana is poor, I don't believe. Ghana, we are not poor. If we are poor, let's ask ourselves a question: why foreigners have come to take over this economy? Why would they take a loan from their country and bring it into this country and make money? We are not poor, but our direction is completely wrong. And we don't blame only government. The individuals, as Ghanaians, if we want to improve this economy, we have to change the mindset of Ghanaians. That is why I said we should play that heroic songs to conscientize Ghanaians to take their destiny into their own hands, believe in themselves. That is the way to move this country.
If the young people see that one of the quickest ways to be rich is to be politician. So you start from university, you are teen and you are TESCON and all that. And before they see the guy they went to classroom with, his deputy minister, he's got Land Cruiser, he's got this, that, he's got that and all of that.
Have you also
if they see that, they feel that the political class is cheating them. And recently, we've had some sort of revolution on social media calling on the middle class to rise up and all of that because they feel the political class is cheating them.
You know,
how do you see that?
Well, they have every right to be angry, no doubt about it. But what I want to tell them is that whatever is happening today, anybody who did not work hard for his wealth will definitely lose it one day. It's short-lived.
What should they do with that advice? Is that an advice? Is it a question?
Yeah, advice meaning
they think people have cheated them. They're saying they shouldn't worry.
Hold on. You see, I have mentioned to you that I was hawking on the street. Yes, PK chocolate, Tatra, Nazet, yes, raw.
You did that?
Yes,
in Kumasi or Accra?
Accra here. Up to secondary form 3.
So when you were decided form 1, you were doing
yes,
that?
I was hawking on the street. Yes, PK chocolate, Tatra, Nazet, yes, raw. But with
you know how to say it again, yes?
Yes, PK chocolate, Tatra, Nazet, yes, Rob.
What is Nazareth?
It's a blade, a type of blade with a crocodile.
So PK chocolate.
Tatra
blade.
Tatra blade and Nazareth blade.
Nazareth blade.
Yeah, and Rob.
Yeah, Rob. So right. PK chocolate, that.
Yes, PK chocolate, Tatra, Nazareth, yes, Rob.
Okay, that's good for a TikTok video. Let's do it again. PK what? Yeah. PK.
Yes, PK, chocolate, Tatra, Nazareth, yes, Rob.
Okay, we have the video. Okay.
You see?
Thank you very much.
So if now this underdog with persistency, hard work, perseverance, now that is why I love that song. I am said that song. Okay, from my background, where I'm coming from, and today you are interviewing me as one of the aspirants. That alone is an achievement. So I stand for hope.
Yes.
Hope for the youth. And every hope needs action.
Every hope needs action.
Yeah, every hope needs action. Hope needs action. And today, the current situation we are in, we don't need change. Change needs us.
Hey, these are heavy.
Good.
Hope needs action. The current situation we have, we don't need change. The change needs us. What's the meaning of change needs us?
Because whatever we are doing, the situation is bad. That it is not you that need the change, the word change. The word change itself
is looking for you.
It's looking for you.
Wow.
Yes.
That we have to dramatically change.
Yes.
From where we are to 360 degrees.
Yes, and that is what I stand for.
That's Kennedy Japan can do that.
Yes. And ideas needs spark.
Ideas need spark.
Yes.
Wow.
Ideas needs spark. Hope needs what?
Action.
Action. Right.
Where is the action in your hope that you're offering? Where is it?
My action.
Which is what?
In the
employing
hope is,
people.
When you look at me, that poor boy from Asin Dompem today has over 7,000 workers. When you look at me, it gives you hope that look.
Well, but do we have to go to America to become like Ohenia Japan from Asin Dompem?
Look,
because you went to America. That's where the thing changed.
It does not mean no. Where the change came from hawking on the street here.
But you went to America.
Yeah, I went to America. When you know how many people that went to America?
There are a lot of them.
Right. But you see, I started this. I always said to myself that no matter what, I'm going to be rich one day. So when I was driving taxi, it took me 7 months to own 8 taxis because every month I saved $3,000, went to auction and bought a car and gave it to somebody to drive for $40 a day. It's me. So it is not only America. I worked so hard in Germany. So it's you, the individual. You should be determined that you're going to succeed in life.
Oh, you stayed in Germany as well?
Yes.
Before America or after America?
Before America.
Oh, Germany first, then America?
Yeah, Germany first before America.
Were you in Nuremberg?
Hamburg.
Oh, you're in Hamburg?
Yes, and Bad Orislo.
I don't know that one.
After Arenburg, when we are going to Lübeck.
So you speak a bit of German?
And Kiel. A little.
Guten Tag, guten Morgen.
Wie geht's?
Oui.
No. I say wie geht means how are you?
How are you?
Then we say good.
Oh, I see. Good. Okay. All right, this is still Good Evening Ghana. We are getting into the home stretch right now. Kennedy Japan has been saying a lot of things. Hope needs action, ideas need spark, and all the things he told us. Now we are going to. Do we have a commercial break, my lady? They'll
I
check.
say change needs you.
Change needs you.
Yeah.
Hope needs action. Ideas need a spark.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a commercial break? We do. Okay.
So Ghana, change needs us.
All right, that's Kennedy Japan.
Yes.
All right, so I'll take the commercial break. When we come back, I'll ask him questions about Ahmed Swale. What is the story with that? And then I'll ask him questions about, then we'll get to the gossip question. Did he tell President Akufo-Addo that he wants to run? What did President Akufo-Addo say? Has he told President Kufuor whether he's running, and what did he say, and all of that? Okay, the commercial break is not ready, so we go straight to the questions right now. Please, your text messages, start isolating them. I'll come to you. I'm sure we have a whole lot. Social media is buzzing. Thank you very much, social media, for your patronage. Who is Ahmed Swale?
Well, you tell me. You brought the question up.
Well, Ahmed Swale is a journalist we know. I never met him. He works for Tiger Eye.
Right.
He's an investigative journalist, undercover investigative journalist. It is reported that you, Kennedy Japan, put out Ahmed Swale's photographs to the world and even threatened that you will attack him if you found him.
You see,
weeks later, Ahmed Swale was killed by gunmen.
You see,
up till today, the police is yet to find out who killed the famous journalist.
You see, you are a seasoned journalist. So please kindly don't distort information.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, he said within 2 weeks.
No, within weeks.
Within weeks.
Of
Check how many weeks.
I don't know.
Good. Please find out.
Okay.
And 2, don't say that Ahmed Swale was undercover journalist.
Wasn't he?
No. It means you don't even have analysis videos.
I've seen them.
Yeah. Did you see Ahmed Swale's face covered?
I don't know him. But which role did he play?
Right. Ahmed Swale was the one who was actually sitting by this fake attorney guy.
Oh, the interpreter of sorts.
Right. He sits there.
Oh, yeah, I know him. He's not that tall.
No. Yeah.
Oh, that's Swale.
That's Swale. Did you see his face
No,
covered?
his face was there.
No.
I saw him.
So don't use that word.
But if his face was not covered, why did you find the need to show his photograph?
Because most of the Ghanaians didn't know him.
So why were you showing it to them?
I was showing it because if a man comes to you and say that, take this, it's a gift. Let's use Kwesi Nyantakyi, for example. Kwesi Nyantakyi was invited 3 consecutive times to Dubai. The first one, he went with the Liberian president.
Oh, George Weah?
Yes.
Oh, you're serious?
Yes. They stayed in a hotel. Anas and his group did not show up. Kwesi Nyantakyi threatens to sue them.
Are you? I'm getting confused.
Yes.
Kwesi Nyantakyi went to Dubai on their invitation about the sponsorship of the league.
Yes.
Okay.
He went there with Oponwia.
What was Oponwia doing there?
Well, he was contesting.
For presidency?
Right.
So what was he doing there?
They are going there thinking, well, the way they portray Sheikh Atani and the rest.
He has money.
Yeah, he has money. So Kwesi went with him.
To raise funding for George Weah?
Right. And he didn't show up.
Did he show up at all?
No. So he was threatening to go and see them, sue them. That was the first time Anas introduced himself, pleading with Kwesi Nyantakyi.
Himself as Anas?
Yes. That
So Kwesi saw him?
Yeah.
And they spoke?
Yeah, so this is, my boys, this and that, I'm sorry, you're going to hate. So you saw the video that they were sitting there. Anas was not there. Ahmed Swale was there. So to show his face, and let me clear this air. When I showed the video on Net 2, my workers came to the studio and told me, Honorable, they asked the question, don't you know this guy? I said, no. I said, oh, but he was one of the guys you paid his school fees. I said, I don't remember. Because I always pay people's school fees. He said, you came here, he said he was going to university, you gave him 1,500. I said, I don't remember. And he said, oh, he has been coming here. And I said, please, he's very dangerous. Don't allow him to come here. He will set us up. So when he comes, beat him up. Throw him out of the place.
Beat him up?
Yes, this is what I said. I will not lie to you.
But that's not a bad word. Like, that's not a good word, sorry.
Right. But you see, judges who have died, judges who have been sacked from their job, custom officers with Anaso style, I have a problem with that. Because it's complete entrapment.
Oh, those judges who, yeah.
Yes, complete entrapment. So to show somebody's face and say that you are coming to trap me, and you are using that word fairness, is he also fair to all those people?
But then he was murdered, which is also very bad.
You see, Ghana media, with all due respect to you, you also have a problem. The problem is, when an incident happens like this, you sensationalize it, and attention is taken away from the corporates. First of all, let me ask a few questions. Security-wise, I ask, at what time did Anas hear that Ameswale has been murdered? At what time did Anas put on social media that Ameswale has been murdered? Had he visited Ameswale's family even to see the dead body? At what time did Anas get the chance to call the Atlanta, Georgia senator and complain that I have killed? You see, all these questions I'm asking, journalists did not even listen, because that time you perceived Anas as thin God, and therefore you didn't give anybody benefit of the doubt.
But what's the significance of these questions you're asking?
The significance of these questions is that if you are doing investigations, go and watch ID, family, husband and wife. If they come and the wife is murdered, the first suspect is the husband. If a husband is murdered, the first suspect is the wife. Okay? Then they begin to extend it to the close associates. All these things were not done. And because I showed his pictures, you are accusing me. Get it straight. You don't know. Now let me tell you. Anas reported me to U.S. government. When I got to Houston, they stopped me for about 7 hours. Okay? They did their investigation, everything. They said, go. Okay? Now, I believe in police. Here. Competent police. All these investigations that they've done, nothing pointed to Kenneth Agyapong. Are you saying they are not competent? What I will do if I'm president, I will encourage the police, the security agencies to go and investigate it to the bottom, to get the actual culprit.
But you are suspicious that Anas himself may be part of it?
Yeah, because of his reaction. Because he didn't show remorse, anything. Somebody, your I don't know the
confident
word. I wouldn't say confident. I wouldn't say that. But you let me reserve the word.
It's a very touchy and emotional issue. So let's let's move on. Let's move on to the gossip part. Or shall I take some text message from you? Oh, you have something to say. It looks like you want to add something to this Swale conversation. I'm ending it here.
No, I wanted to tell you that if I'm elected today, whether the case is dead or not, I will bring it back again.
So that we can find the murderer.
Yes, so that we can find it.
Whilst because of the last thing you said, I need to extend this conversation because another matter in which your name is also mentioned, I don't know whether it's related, I think it's unrelated, is J.B. Dankwa's murder. There again, they have said that you were the first person to arrive there.
Who was the first person to arrive there? What about the police? When I went there, I saw the wife's sister, who was my clerk, the communications committee.
From Parliament, yes.
I saw police officers there in the house. I saw JB's brother also there. There are 3 police officers who always patrol around my area in East Legon. First call around 4:30 a.m. I was complaining, at this hour, who is calling me? Apparently, he was on the line. Then he said, oh, Honorable, one of your colleagues has been murdered. I said, who? Then he said, JB. So I asked, where does he live? Then he gave me direction.
Oh, he didn't know where he lives?
No, I didn't know. So they gave me direction to the place.
Oh, that's how you showed up there?
Yes. Yeah, they gave me direction. My wife is a witness. I was there with them when they called me. And the police officers are still here. You know, so how come? And first of all, JB was not a close friend, but we are colleagues in parliament. I had nothing against him. So what will happen? Why will I do such a thing? And let me tell you, I have that human touch. I don't have time to go and kill human beings. What would I gain from that? What would I gain, my brother? How long
so
am
as
I
president, we demand from you resolution of 2 murders. You say that you're going to resolve Ahmed Swale's murder,
yes,
and JB Dankwa's murder.
Yes.
You resolve it as
Yes.
president.
Yes.
What power will you have to do it?
You see, the problem is, if the president shows interest, the police will work, and I will show interest. I will show interest because it's me that have been accused. So it's important to exonerate myself, come out with the truth. That is all.
Okay. When I interviewed Alan Kyerematen last week here, he said that whereas it's a new thing, there's a novel thing for the MPP to want to break the 8, it is also new for John Mahama, who wants to return as former president. Right. And so much as the MPP needs to do a lot of work to be able to change the status quo and break the 8, John Dramani Mahama must also do a huge amount of work to convince Ghanaians that a former president can be re-elected. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Because, you see, the cycle is such that every 8 years, at least what we know, we change governments. So, MPP admitting that we should break the 8 means that our back is on the wall.
Yes.
Because of the 8 years. But this time we want to make a record. Instead of 8, we'll go to 12. Okay? So, because we want to break the 8, there are certain things we have to do. And I think I just read something here that Ken Ofori-Atta now is saying that the private bonds will not be touched.
Yeah.
We thank God. If not, we are going to lose miserably.
The election?
Yes.
On the individual bondholders?
Yes, yes. We're going to lose miserably. It's good he has made a U-turn. You see, so with what is going on in the world, it doesn't favor MPP. But the unfortunate thing for NDC is also that they've been in power before and they were not good managers. That is why you need a businessman now. And that is Kenneth Japon for you. You need a selfless leader. You need a leader who cares about the future of the country. You need a leader who places Ghana first. And these guys, or these gentlemen, I will stand tall because I will show all my track record, what I've done for this country as a member of parliament and not a minister. Not even a minister. What I've done. My record will speak for me.
Somebody was asking when we put out this earlier today that, that was a question on Alan Kyerematen talking about John Mahama needs to break something. The Alan Kyerematen, that has ended now. Somebody said that Kennedy is great. He's very well exposed, and so he's marking you and the other candidates. Exposure, Kennedy tops everyone. Articulates, carrying the narrative, Kennedy tops everyone. And then he says that wealth, perhaps of individual wealth of all the candidates, most likely Kennedy is the richest among them. On policy, Kennedy is not first, he's not second, he's not third.
Policy.
Policy.
Has he ever given me a chance, or has he heard what I'm going to do?
Well, what you are going to do is the future, but in terms of record of policy.
Record
Which
of what
policy have you? You have not been a minister before. You've not been a deputy. You can't say that as Minister of Agric I did this. Also, Freya says as Minister of Agric from 2017, I've stopped the importation of
Don't forget, I've been.
Alan Martin says as Minister, one district, one factory, PSI. Babne Japan says presidential spokesperson, I did that. Joe Garte says railway minister, attorney general, I did that. Kennedy Japan can't say anything.
I can say a lot. First of all, for being a member of parliament for 6 consecutive terms, it's a great achievement. Coming from NDC constituency.
Oh, that was NDC before?
Yes.
You were the first to win for NDC? And you've held it for 6 terms?
Held it for 6 consecutive terms.
Oh, that's clearly flipping a constituency to the MPP. Clearly.
Right.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm the chairman of Defense and Interior Committee. I've been the chairman of Local Government Committee. I've been a chairman of Communication Committee. Go and ask all members of this committee my performance. Yes, go and ask. And again, the person is talking of wealth. It's not wealth that we're talking about here. The employment that I have created in this country. None of the candidates, MPP, NDC, none of the candidates. When they come, ask them, how many of the candidates from NPP and NDC have employed even 1,000 workers? And do you think you need, what, a professor to create jobs? That is why I'm saying that I believe in conceptual thinking.
But as president, there's a lot more for you to do, not just this. The president's desk is full. You see how big the table is?
The
full.
table.
You're doing ECOWAS, you're doing foreign affairs, you're doing Africa, you're doing continental free trade. I'm going to ask you about that.
We need very easy to run this country. One policy of mine will change everything.
Which is?
Discipline. Discipline will change this country. Law and order. That is all we need. We don't need professor whatever.
So discipline from the top?
Everywhere. Every Ghanaian has to be disciplined. You see, you are talking of the top. Yes, it starts from the top. I will discipline myself. And therefore, it will be easier for me to check my ministers. It will be easier for the ministers to check their directors because they know what the president stands for.
Okay, I have a set of questions for you. I'll take the text messages before then. But let me just ask you, will you make more money as president?
At this point in my life, I don't need to make money. I want to make a difference in society. I've said it before, I'm saying it again, that if I'm elected as president, the presidential salary and whatever money I'm going to make, I'll put it in an escrow and set up a presidential scholarship and touch every constituency with my salary. Every constituency, a child will be given scholarship to go to university.
On the president's salary?
On the president's
275 constituencies?
Yes.
You won't finish that. 12, how many, 4 years, how many months?
Let me tell you.
12 times 4,
let
48?
Let me tell you. If I make 100,000
cedis per month?
Hypothetically.
On all your everything?
Right, on all everything, 100,000. In 12 months, it's 1.2 million. 1.2 million, 275 constituencies. Every child will get 3,000. Do your calculation.
Yeah, you can do that. That works.
Yeah.
That works.
So 275 constituencies. I'll give 3,000 cedis.
Will you be interested in government contracts? Will you, if I come to you, you are president, I say, I come, Kennedy, the Ministry of Communication is doing a big 5G project. I have some partners. Can you talk to the minister for me? Will you do that?
You see, you have to put your documents,
I'll show
your
you
proposal.
That I have partners from Sweden and all that. Please tell the minister that they should favor Paul Adumochiri for this contract. Will you do that?
You see, your partnership with Swedish doesn't intimidate me.
I know.
You should prove that you're competent to do the job.
Well, but if I have partners who can do it.
What I would do is introducing you to the minister, but not push or force the minister to give you the contract.
No, but that's all I need. Don't push. Just tell the minister. Just say that the minister would please have a look at. That's all I need.
Yeah, just look at that. Is
that corruption?
No, that is not corruption.
Really? But
no.
I'm taking my advantage of knowing you and coming to you as president.
If you do anything wrong, contrary to whatever you your proposal is you go to jail.
You tell the Attorney General to work on me.
Yeah.
So if I come to you in that place, I say, oh, but Kennedy,
I'm afraid you go to jail.
Really?
Yes.
So no favor for anyone?
Don't vote for me. You go to jail.
No favor for anyone?
No favor. I will jail you.
You can't do president like that in Africa.
Why not? Let me give you an example. You see, you sit here as a black man with
is it Donald Trump's problem? Every day he was sacking somebody.
Hold on. This morning, Tennessee.
In America?
Right, in America. 3 fire officers were fired just for late response. Late.
Oh, I see.
3. They've been fired.
Yes.
What does a fire officer got to do with a murder by police officers?
But it's a late arrival.
Precisely. That is how the system...
That's discipline.
Discipline. That's how systems work. Ghanaians, that is why I'm saying that change needs us. Change needs us. Because everything happening in this country clearly indicates that we are indisciplined. These same Ghanaians, when they travel abroad and working, and the systems are working, they follow the systems. These same workers sometimes become the best workers.
Yeah, so it's for you, the political leader, to change the system.
Yes, of course.
It's not the people, it's the system.
It's the system.
Led by the leader.
Yes.
Okay. So you are promising us that you're going to show us that this is the system you are bringing, everybody must fall in line.
Yeah, we have to.
Okay.
And it has been experimented elsewhere. Like example that I'm giving you, that 3 fire officers who were late were just fired.
Okay, let me take the text message. When I come back, viewers, so that you don't go away, we're asking about religion and the contest. Is religion important in the contest? The survey I showed you, the delegates had been asked about religion. I'll ask him also gossip questions. Did he tell President Akufo-Addo that he wants to run, and what did President Akufo-Addo say? Who will be his running mate if he wins? Is he happy to be running mate to somebody else if he doesn't win? All of these coming up. Let's take the text messages now. Mikael, and we are now on social media only. Thanks for keeping with us.
On endorsement of gay rights.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Has Christianity always been one of the religions in the world to you?
Oh, hallelujah. Praise God. Christianity is not a religion, neither is it a joining of a church and doing the Christian things like praying and giving and so on. Hallelujah. Christianity is the outworking of God's own kind of life received into the spirit of a man. Whoa! This divine life in the heart of a man makes him righteous, keeps him healthy, divinely guided in life, prosperous and victorious. It gives you the ability to enjoy intimate fellowship with the Father and have dominion on this earth. Hallelujah. This is what awaits you if you will wholeheartedly believe that Jesus is the Son of God raised from the dead and personally confess him as the Lord of your life. Glory to God.
Hallelujah. Join Dr. David Binder on the Good Life Devotion every Monday to Friday on this channel and receive truth that will usher you into exhibiting the divine life.
Praise the Lord. Hallelujah.